Hello and welcome to Painting the Cape. My name is Lance, and today we're in Woods Hole, and we're going to paint a painting in Eel Pond. And today's episode is brought to you by burnt sienna, lemon yellow, ultramarine blue, and our trusty white. Okay, here we go. We're going to do the horizon line first. You know, notice when I'm doing this, I move my whole arm to do the line. So that's the horizon line, and then we're going to do some hills in the background. And then we're going to have we'll do the main figure first. A lot of times I'll just stick in points where I'm going to mark. And I'm going to have a little man in here. So I'm doing boxes, a box for the head, a box for the chest and the hips. Put a little hat on him. And he's going to be steering the boat. And there's going to be some waves coming off the boat in the back. I'm going to have a little sailboat here. Another one there. And then I'm going to indicate the foreground. Where it cuts off. The midground, which is going to go to there. And then the distant ground is the hills and the water. I'm going to make a reflection here in the water for the boats. Now this little boat and guy, I just added him to the scene. And then I take my palette knife and kind of knock down those lines so they're not so strong. You just wipe them off. They smear a little bit, it's okay, because we're going to paint over them. That gives me a general layout. Okay, I'm going to mix some color. Put out a few colors. And get my rag. What am I going to do with my rag? Now I use a rag when I'm putting the paint on because it's tougher. It doesn't make a bunch of little things I got to clean off afterwards. So I'm going to go, this is going to be, the sun's going to be over here, let's say. And start off with a blue pile with some white. Now I'm going to keep bending it a little bit as I go around. I'm making big swirls, just really do it. Okay, it's going to be lighter on this side. It could be a little warmer. Lighter on this side. Just stick it in there. Then I move, I'm here, I move it a little bit over on my rag so I've got a clean spot. And do the next tone. Stick it on there. It's a little bit different, a little bit darker. Then I move my rag again, so I'm in a clean spot. And I do the darkest one. And now I'm going to make some green up, so now I'm going to take that blue and bend it so it's a green, a darker green. And put it on these back hills. And overlap the sky a little bit to cover up that gap. Change my position, the rag. I'm going to bend it again and make it much, much lighter. And this will be that distant ground. I'm going to move that. And I just get it on there. Now remember that this side's a little darker. As it goes across, it gets a little lighter. I change positions on the rag. A little lighter. And lighter still. Now as we get closer down, I'm going to bend the color to bluer for the water. Now if I run into the man or the boat or whatever, I'm going to redraw that. So I just kind of roughly get it in. Get a little turban there, stretch it out a little bit. And I'm just working in flat color, flat, flat, and just flat. And then we'll blend them together and render it a little bit later. Now the foreground's got to be darker, so I put a little more, I bend it again, put a little bit more darker tones in there. Just trying to just fill up the space. And now I'm going to bend it one more time, place on my rag. I'm going to make it gray with burnt sienna. Too blue, so I have a little bit more brown to it. Just keep adjusting it, but connect the colors together so it doesn't move too fast. It moves one color to the next color. Just fill that in. That's going to be the wake of the boat. Now the boats, so that's what we do. I'm done with the rag. Okay, now we're going to put some color together to paint these different boats, and the first thing we think about is just make them into like a silhouette. So we just get some kind of color. I'm going to bend it from the blue to a little greener. I'm always bending from one color to the next. I don't jump around. I just paint it in a flat color. And the next one, I'm going to make it a little bit warmer. Staying with the same pile, just bending it to a slightly different color. And do a silhouette in that boat not quite dark enough, so I'm going to make it maybe greener. Now I dull it down a little bit. To make the reflection in the water. Now I'm going to put reflections of the boat in, and they're slightly duller. Than the boat itself. Now I'm going to bend again from this pile to make the silhouette of the boat here in the foreground. And I start to paint in different things. A little man. Also, I'm going to indicate where the ripples are. This is kind of coming off the boat there. And as the ripples go out, they start to flatten out and get closer together. Now, the distant hills, the light's coming from this way, so that is going to light up this part of the hill. And let's say there's a little hill in front of this one. Now I'm going to take my palette knives and mix up a green. Now I'm going to fix up the wake of the boat, and I'm going to use my palette knife to make that happen. I'm just going to take some white and put a little dark in there, and just a little darker. And just let your palette knife do the work. Just zigzag back and forth, thick and thin. As it goes further away, it gets darker and starts to blend in to the water. Now the water is lit up from the sky on the back side of it. Which is the side facing us. And as it goes further away, it gets grayer. And on the front side, this side here that is closer to the sun, it gets warmer. This is where the shadow of the boat goes. Now we're going to make that water closest to us a darker green. So on this part, you could use a brush or your palette knife. And while I've got the palette knife out, I'm going to make a bead on one of the other one like that, and then grab the bead and make the masts of the different boats. And also the lines that hold the masts up. Also, the cross members, that right there, that right here. Okay. Now I'm going to go with my Kleenex and blend these two zones together and soften that top edge of the mountain. I mean the little hill. So it goes back. Oops. Take that off. I'm just softening this transition. Now I'm going to make the boat stand out more. I'm going to put a couple houses here in the distance. Okay, we're almost done. I'm going to take my palette knives again, and I'm going to increase the brightness in the distant ground where the sun is hitting. So I take some yellow, get it all flattened out like that, scoop it up again, get a bead, just like that, and hit the distant shore here. And there we have it. Now here is a finished painting of the same subject. Okay, thanks so much for coming, and we'll see you next time on Painting the Cape. Bye for now.